Hiya, and welcome back to Moonlight Castle. The game that teaches us that... What console are they playing on? Because, like... I can't tell if that's PS4 or PS5. Because it's like... The controllers have the color scheme of PS5, but they look like PS4. Actually, no, they look more like PS2, but still! It is throwing me off. I don't know what console it is. Anyways, let's just hop right in. We have to do this, because the saves are fucked. To start the game from a route, additional information is required. Enter a name of your choice. Hole. Please provide the following information. Blake. Branch A. How much affinity? Yes. The necessary configuration is complete. The game is being started from your chosen route. It ain't a Switch 2. Day 5. It was another narrow corridor that didn't provide any safety. Just a straight line, the perfect location for Mr. Fridge to hunt me. He screamed, stomped, and charged ahead. I had never seen him do that before. I placed a hand on my burning chest. This chase was lasting for far longer than I was used to. And with supplies running low, I wasn't at the top of my game anymore. I could barely keep myself out of that damned sword's reach. But this girl right here was still entitled to pick the way I wanted to die. Having a sword split my body in half was totally not the way. I just spelled Axel joined. I said having a sword split my body in half was totally not the way. And then he left. Having a sword split my body in half was totally not the way. I moved closer to the wall to force him to swing against it. He grunted. What is this line? I am dying of laughter over here. Ow. Owie. He grunted his he He grunted and groaned when his abnormal strength drove it deep enough into the wall to get stuck. I kneeled and gave myself a well-deserved I kneeled and gave myself a well-deserved breather that lasted only 10 seconds. Sorry, not sticking around. The hallway should have opened into a larger room according to the plan. Far enough away for him to lose track of me. But that room never came. This never-ending corridor didn't have a way out. Okay. Okay. I'm okay now. I'm okay now. Yeah, I'm okay now. This never-ending corridor didn't have a way out. It kept going seemingly nowhere in a different attempt to waste my resources. This isn't funny. Several holes spread unevenly across the wooden floor. At first they were easy to navigate, impossible to fall into. As I ventured deeper, they became bigger and bigger, removing most of the walkable ground. I turned to where I came from, pondering the possibility of just going backward. If only that fridge wasn't so large. In such a narrow space, squeezing through the gaps would be too difficult for me to safely execute. And I was too tired for it. So this was my only option. The alternative was dying, and I wasn't a fan of that, honestly. I hurried along while his footsteps echoed behind me. I braced myself and jumped across multiple chasms. Once, twice, again. It was exhausting, but reassuring. There was no way the fridge would be able to jump over these two, right? I watched as his large silhouette appeared at the beginning of this obstacle course. He didn't stop, didn't even look at the emptiness standing right before him. The fridge walked on and ignored everything that was standing between us. He didn't fall. His heavy footsteps nonchalantly stepped on air, leaving me feeling cheated out of what I believed to be my escape. I scrambled to get back onto my feet and resume my retreat, only for the platforms to shrink as I pressed onward. Are you kidding me? What the hell do you want me to do here? I was hoping that this place would at least treat me fairly, but that was my wishful thinking. I jumped again, and this time I barely missed the landing. With all my strength sapped, I was holding onto the ledge, fueled by pure adrenaline and my desire to live. I couldn't pull myself up. I was too tired to do so. My whole body was busy trying to hold out. He came back into view. With each passing second, his silhouette would grow larger, closer, louder. There was nothing underneath my feet. Letting him go would mean death. But Mr. Fridge would deliver the same thing. No! Not like this! He marched up to me. For some reason, I thought I saw a creepy smile. His rusty sword wanted to claim its prize, but at that point, the darkness seemed like a nicer option. As the finishing strike was delivered, Mr. Fridge fell through the non-existent floor and collapsed. His sword was the only thing that sunk into the dark abyss below. I braced myself for a terrifying impact that never came. It felt as though the void ate his sword up, while his body, now lifeless, was floating next to mine. I saw this as an opportunity, fate screaming at me to give it one more try. I carefully scooched him closer and I jumped on top of Mr. Fridge. God, this must mean the night cycle just ended, right? I took a deep breath as I scrambled to keep my balance on the floating pile of armor. That was so fucking lucky. I genuinely thought I'd be a goner tonight. My eyes couldn't stray off his helmet. I'd be able to pull it out and see what was inside. Maybe I'll have to change your nickname if I take a peek. Hands off the helmet! My face frowned upon hearing her voice. Give me one reason I shouldn't take his head off right now. She phased in from a nearby wall, then floated closer to me and shrugged. I just wanted to interfere with the dramatic moment. I pulled as hard as I could, but it didn't budge. Ah yeah, I forgot to mention that it won't come off. She giggled while watching my struggle. Great! More calories burned away. I latched myself to the nearest wall in order to launch ourselves backward. Don't blame me for that. You barely survived and your first thought was to see what was inside your enemy. Not like I really have anything else going on. I patted the back of my dear sleepy Fridge. He's slowly driving me home. My little metallic boat. She slowly clapped. You performed well, though. Congratulations. I held my ears shut. I did think it was too quiet for my liking. I'm going to shove you off the night. No, you wouldn't. You don't like getting your hands dirty. True. I'm more of a trapping kind of person. Alright, the stupid hallway setup kind of fucked up. It's an endurance challenge. Isn't that best suited for a traveler? If you feed me a 3-man meal first. Absolutely. Any allergies I should watch out for? I waved her off. Oh shut, I'm growing tired of dreaming about restaurant dates. She turned away. At least you can. My eyes widened. Not at all. I thought you would, I don't know, replicate my dreams too. She sighed. It might be connected to my own curse. Pillars with their own soul-cursing causality. Wasn't currently being shipped to Destination Doom. I would have loved to study this phenomenon. The ghost frowned, her eyes giving me a judgmental stare. You're looking at me like I'm some sort of lab rat. I chuckled as I reached into my backpack. Doesn't seem like that a little, but you're not looking at the bigger picture. My hand rummaged through the few supplies I had left. Solving the mystery behind your existence will be highly beneficial to everyone, yourself included. Raised my head, pulled out a water bottle, and met her eyes. Wouldn't you like to know why you've been created in this way? My hand unscrewed the cap, and before I could take a sip, I raised the bottle at her. There's a fact you lost your original form and memories, yet you still carry fragments of your previous personality. Took small and steady sips, ignoring my scratchy throat. It demanded more than I could give. I do? She floated closer while waiting for me to finish. Your original personality is blending with the one you copy, yes? I closed the bottle and returned to my bag. Give me some credit, we've spent months together. You're cool. When you're not actively trying to murder me, that is. The ghost turned around and hit her face. This obvious flattery will get you nowhere. And the mask slips. She snapped back at me. You really think it is entirely possible for you to regain what you've lost? My situation is much worse than yours. The castle fully sustains you, but I guess that's also the price you pay. The ghost lowered herself enough for her feet to touch Mr. Fridge's chest. Well, since we're getting chummy today, I have a question for you. I sighed. Really? What could you possibly ask me that you don't already know? She solidified her form and sat down. I held onto the shaking chest plate, trying to keep myself from falling over. It's true that I know everything about you, but no matter how hard I look at your memories, there's something I can't comprehend. Shoot, I'm bored anyway. I laid down on the knight's chest and placed my arms behind my head. Come on, it's gonna feel nice this way. She stared at me and reluctantly did the same. Why did you decide to do this in the first place? Life might have been a bit rough, but you had people that deeply loved you. I stared at the ceiling as we drifted down the invisible current. What pushed you to do this? How can someone just throw it all away? I tilted my head toward her. How many people have you watched in your lifetime? She didn't meet my gaze and kept staring at the ceiling. Too many to count. The majority were selfish, egocentric, and narcissistic. I simply lived out their lives and assimilated everything there was to know. Then I meet people like you, and I can't help growing curious. Your logic makes no sense, and the answers I come up with don't satisfy me. They're simulated. I laughed. So you wanted to hear it from the original instead? She turned around and glared, but watching me laugh flustered her. I don't need your stupid opinion. The ghost puffed out her cheeks as I mused over the question. What you asked is difficult to answer, so even the OG might be in trouble. She snorted. Yeah, sure. Took a deep breath, then my head gently leaned closer to hers and touched it. You're right, though. We had a really good thing going. A smile began to take shape as my mind was flooded with memories of the past. But it slowly fell apart, and I was the one to blame. That fleeting fragment of happiness left just as fast as it came. I was stuck working a low-paying job, and Patrice's family couldn't afford to house me. He was planning to go into debt just to keep all of us afloat. In the meantime, my family was taking advantage of Liam by using me as an excuse to make my brother do their bidding. They stole all the money I was giving my brother. God, just thinking about it gets me mad. We were never truly free, and their spare moments of happiness didn't feel right because deep down I was the reason all this was happening. I had to go back because I had become their burden. Just leaving would have been enough to solve their issues. It did alleviate their trouble, but my absence demoralized them. Gavin came to my rescue with a proposal, and you know how the story goes. See, this is what I don't get. You didn't solve the problem, you just replaced it with another. Emotional wounds heal over time. Someone else will eventually take my place, but the freedom I gave them is irreplaceable. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense to you because you're not in love. You can become me, you can copy my memories, you can replicate my feelings, yet you can't feel the same love the original experiences. To you, that sensation is jarring, isn't it? Or maybe you feel bad for me. Something happens to you whenever you copy certain people. Maybe their experiences are similar to the ones you've forgotten. Okay, that's enough. Wish I could help, but I can't really do that right now. I took out some moldy bread I'd stolen a few days ago and stared at it. Hey, look at that, a luxury item. My hand snapped it in half, and as I listened to my stomach crumble, I bit into it out of hunger. All I need to do is believe this is a burger. I opened my eyes and sighed. Was this going to happen every single night now? I stared at the ring, wondering if she knew that I had dreamed about her. You there? She was unresponsive, but I could still sense her inside the ring. Yay! Penicillin. Wanted to turn this off later, if that was even possible. That'd be a nice quality of life change. Walked up to my desk, grabbed the notebook Liam gave me, and updated it. Working this early in the morning? I was trying to organize my thoughts. She placed herself on top of my desk and then laid down. This time her body was more tangible. I've got some important news for you, JJ. I tilted my head, unsure of what to say to that. JJ? That's my nickname for you. You don't mind it, yeah? I squeezed, trying really hard to understand where this is coming from. Jojo. That didn't help. That's not my name, though. You are so picky. I'm basically saying Joel. It's cute. I don't mind it, just wondering what the thought process behind it was. I still think Mr. Fridge is my magnum opus. You are so subtle at sharing things. Sorry about that. I've gotten pretty deep in your subconscious, so some of my memory spilled into you. That sure is a sentence. Patrice would be on the floor laughing his butt off if he were here. Can we speed things up? I have a terrible morning ahead of me. Right, MJ is coming over. She cheered, her voice way too loud for my thin walls. I'm so excited to meet her, even if I already kind of did. In your mind, I mean. I hushed her down. What are you talking about? Nobody is meeting her. You won't see her? Listen, I haven't decided yet. After all, he was going to be there. Wouldn't have minded just Mom. Alone, she was easier to handle. I highly recommend you meet her, not just for personal reasons, but for mediums as well. The seriousness in her tone quickly caught my attention. Is this related to what you found? Do you know how someone becomes a medium? Handbook mentioned something about being born this way. That's correct. You're either born a medium or you aren't. There's no record of someone becoming a medium later in life. Get to the point. It's something that usually runs in the family, so you happen to inherit medium blood. I stared. Are you sure? How do you explain the seal then? Someone must have known about this and sealed you when you were a child. We have a 50-50 on our hands. If your mom isn't a medium, then it must come from your father. No, but... You think she's not a medium? I agree. If all you want is Alright. The echo is being weird. I'm actually going to leave the echo off for a bit. All you want is confirmation that meeting her isn't necessary. I can just feel her soul through the door. Or not at all. And you're not even going to ask about your father's whereabouts? Make it sound so easy. It is, though? I don't know, you're asking me to brutally open her wounds again. Last thing I want is to make her cry. Alright, I'm not going to force you to do that yet. I'll share the rest of what I found and you decide later. That sounds like I'll eventually have to do it regardless. No. I never said that. You did. Is there good news waiting for me anywhere? I frowned at her lack of an answer. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's neither. Important for sure, though. I can't ever get a normal day here. I sighed and waved at her to deliver the final blow. I couldn't figure out what your talent is. That falls directly in bad news, Nia. Is it? I just need more time to gain access to your sealed memories. Raised a brow in response. Didn't I give you permission already? She rolled around, faced through me, and jumped on my bed. That's the part I don't understand. You did, but you actually didn't. Lynx shrugged, her voice full of doubts. It's not subconscious stuff that's getting in the way. And then she pointed at me, almost wanting to blame me. There's something you really don't want to see down there. I can't say. I don't remember anything weird that I chose to forget. I already forgot it, so it makes sense for you to say that now. Well, I didn't exactly know how to help in this situation. What's our next move, then? Schedule that training with Liam. Have him show you how to control and channel your soul. You could tell me right now if that's so important. And then it gets suspicious that you figured it all out without him. She waved her arms around in protest, and I calmed her down again. Alright, I get it. Don't you want to stop having prophetic dreams, or at least decide when you want that to happen? That was a terrible attempt at channeling Liam's vibes within her, giving me such a smirk. You've clearly heard me complaining about that before. Maybe. But in this case, you want to use it on yourself to open a pathway to your childhood memories. Every morning, things just get crazier, huh? I bet you enjoy this more than meeting your parents. Just because you're right doesn't mean this isn't insane. Then I remembered something else I wanted to ask instead. Also, what's a traveler? Your doppelganger called you that. Was that also from your dream? She was referring to my talent. As a ghost, it became useless. I stared, waiting for her to disclose more information. Right, I'll tell you! Unfortunately, I can't use it anymore. That would have been easier. Because you're a ghost? Dead people can't produce soul. Mine especially required a lot of energy. She thought about it for a moment. It's like short-distance teleportation. Thought about the word traveler again. That's... wow. It was pretty hard to pull off, and I died before I could master it. Travelers are mediums whose talent involves movement. I think Liam will show you a different category later, so I'd like to stop here for now. I'm kind of tired. I just have one more thing to say, and then I'm clocking out. She jumped back into the ring and disappeared. I willingly accepted my death in that castle. I signed a contract with my organization. I feared that might have been the case. Upon hearing that, she quickly materialized a second time. You saw that too? I frowned. This Gavin guy must be important if he can convince you to do something that stupid. He's the leader of the PMC, so not exactly a random guy. I rolled my eyes. So he nonchalantly sends his own people to die. She shrugged. I wasn't paid enough to think that far. Nia floated closer and slammed her head on my desk. Gavin Devine isn't someone you want to turn down. Devine sounds familiar, but... She leaned closer and cut my sentence short. The Devine Corporation is at the core of the city. In fact, Edward Devine should still be the mayor. I tilted my head in response. I don't know him either? Nia slowly backed off. You'll need to catch up because it won't stay strangers for long. Why, our job is to destroy the castle. Why would they care if we do that? Gavin has sent people there many times when I used to work under him. I don't know why, but I'm certain he's benefiting from its existence. I see. I'm sorry for being rude earlier. I respect your attachment to life. There's nothing wrong in being upset after witnessing an idiot waste it. His offer could never compare to yours. Our souls are priceless. She grinned. No, you're right, but I'd say he got pretty damn close. So you remember what he offered you? My demands weren't simple. I wanted something that could have gotten me in trouble. Oh, shit. Her voice darkened and I felt a wave of anger coming from the ring. Turns out I don't like prisons. Even the castle has better perks. Then she smiled and her anger vanished completely. Nia, what did you do? I considered killing them. Instead, I threatened my parents into silence, forced them to set my brother free, and actively forbade them from having another child. She chuckled a bit. I hope they ended up chopping that micro-penis off. Was that worth it, though? Doing it myself would have been satisfying, I admit, but I needed to help my friends. So anyway, Gavin told me that, depending on the quality of my soul and how long my performance lasted, he'd pay accordingly. But you died. Who's getting that? My eyes widened. Oh! I split that check between Liam and Patrice. Unfortunately, only they know the amount, but I'm sure it was big enough to solve their financial problems. Does Liam know about this? Nope, I made sure to include that in my contract. They were supposed to erase any trace I left behind. Well, they didn't do a good job then. I'm sure they did good enough. If Liam managed to get this close to finding me, then a third party must be involved. And I kind of know who would do that. Any information about the organization? Liam barely mentions anything. That part is still blurry to me. Ask me tomorrow? I should regain more memories by then. I'll have to ask him directly during the training. Take more soul if you need. You'd kill me! Aren't you already dead? Then I'd be super dead. You can experience death twice? Yeah, not really into that though. Once is enough. Nia? You're not a burden. So that's the memory you saw tonight. Forget about that. That wasn't serious at all. It was. I can tell you meant it. And it's not true because if you are, then so am I. She snorted. No, sorry, don't take this the wrong way. I swiped the hat off my desk and buried my shame into it as her laughter grew increasingly louder. You caught me by surprise. What you said was really sweet. Death does have a sequel. It's called Super Death. Nia literally said so. It's like a Deadpool type thing, like Deadpool and Wolverine. Or literally any Zelda game. Like, you got death, and then you got super death. Nia literally said so. So if death hurts, and you can't feel pain after you're dead, what does super death feel like? Phantom pain, but you can't feel pain when you're dead. Phantom pain, but like all over your body. Oh god, so you just like fall asleep. It's like when your leg falls asleep because you've been sitting for too long. Like, you've been sitting down for too long, and your leg just falls asleep. You get that pins and needles feeling. And that's, like, all over your body. Your body's essentially doing a error 404 not found. And it's like that, but 5 times worse. That's super death. Mr. Developer, if you're watching this, is that super death? Like a error 404 all over your body? By Moonlight. Yeah, is that what it's like? Oh shit. Yeah. Come my surprise, what you said was really sweet. I know exactly what you were thinking when you said that. I brought my hat closer to my face and stared at it. I'm doing my best to avoid being a burden. And I'm sure you did the same. Yeah. Nobody here's a burden. My phone buzzed and I instinctively turned toward it. That's my cue to leave. Yeah, I should finish dressing and go to the saffron stash as soon as possible. I unlocked my phone and found a missed call from Ryan with a text attached to it. Emergency! Your mom is coming! I stared at the clock right above me as I messaged Ryan. How long ago? I don't know. We happened to stop by, but we didn't see his car. I just wanted to warn you. I walked up to my window, moved the curtains away, and kept a close look on the road below. She needed to drive through there. Shit, did she leave earlier than I planned? What if I were to see her on the road? That'd already be too late for me. Might be a good opportunity, though. I frowned as I angrily typed back. Hell no, he's coming along and I refuse to do this right now. This always happens when I'm unavailable. I'll be fine. Thank you for letting me know. I'm almost ready to leave. I can ask if someone's nearby to pick you up. No need, I'm leaving literally right now. Alright, I'll see you tonight then. I finished dressing up, gathered my things, and put my shoes on. I reached for my curtains to close them. I saw the worst case scenario materializing in front of me. I froze, my phone trembling in my grasp as her car sped past my balcony. Even if I ran now, it would be too late. Darkness fell as I closed the window, extinguishing each light one by one, leaving me standing in the quiet room. My heart frantically pounded, no matter how hard I tried to rein it in. I'd have to sit here and wait, make her believe I left before she could get to me. Was this really what I wanted? This wasn't going to get a peaceful solution anymore. I could hear them coming, their footsteps becoming increasingly louder as they approached. His loud, obnoxious voice already complaining about this whole visit. And Mom patiently listening, compromising, hoping to quell that unreasonable anger of his. I missed her voice, but hearing his was destroying all the positive feelings her presence was evoking. Then the door knocked. I tightened my grip and waited, trying my best to silence every sound. My phone buzzed again and the screen itself turned on, but I couldn't bring myself to take it. Joel? Honey, you there? She gently placed her hand against the door while her soul peeked inside through the door. It was delicate and shy, quickly retreating when something would come in contact with it. At least Nia got her answer. We know you're home. Get your ass over here and open the door. I could feel a knot forming in my stomach. I closed my eyes and wished to be anywhere else but here. Mom tried again. Her sorrow was making me feel incredibly guilty. She just wanted to check on me and make sure I was okay. Then he jumped in and demanded to be let inside, and that sparked an argument between the two. Can you please lower your voice at least? I'd rather not cause a scene here. I couldn't hear very well, not that I wanted to do that either way. I waited. I waited for this to end. I knew he'd get impatient and drag her away. Hey, excuse me, do you happen to know if my son left? He lives here. My eyes shot open after hearing that question. Was she asking a neighbor about me? Oh my god. I reached for my phone and went through all the messages I didn't want to read. It was Ryan apologizing for not being there, but he would figure it out. That message might have just been as ominous as the ones Mom sent me so far. Slowly walked up to the door, worried about the unusual silence. Is that true? Lifted my floppy ears and placed it against the door. His annoying voice responded, complaining about the whole situation exactly as I expected he would. I'm sorry. Maybe it was a bad idea to show up unannounced. They were talking to someone in the back, but I couldn't pick up their voice. I wouldn't mind waiting for him to return. She could pull it off if not for that parasite standing next to her. It's kind of a family emergency. I sighed after hearing that. The whole day? Her reactions were confusing me. Who is she talking to anyway? I'm just trying to be there for him. I know I can't make up from before, but I'll do it now. Another faint response. Did Joel really say that? Just tell him that I'm not going to be upset or anything. I just want to see him. Being curious was one hell of a curse. Can I leave this in your care? It's much safer than abandoning it on his porch unattended. Heard that horse bitch some more only for Mom to take him away. Their footsteps began to fade as they left the building, only for a different set to approach my door. Well, I didn't know you were listening in. I would have knocked right on that door by now. Be careful. I sniffled. Blake? Can I come in? I've got a delivery to fulfill. I shook my head. I don't think you should. It's not a good time. Feel free to cry as much as you want. That's not a shameful sound. Stepped away from the door as my cheeks bloomed red from the trails my tears left behind. Your heart wants nothing but to heal, and this is its price. It's embarrassing. I was hoping you wouldn't hear that. Grabbed a tissue and wiped most of it off. It's a gift and a curse, but this lines up with the former. It makes you come across like you enjoy seeing me cry. I'm describing the process, not you specifically. I chuckled and reached for the handle. You should stop before I permanently label as you a poetic freak. My eyes traveled toward the large gym bag his paw was holding. Yes, this is your delivery. Blake stepped forward and closed the door on his way in. I can see why she would have liked to personally hand it over to me. I gestured at the small table near the window. Just put it down there, I guess. Not going to open it? Took my shoes off and crawled my way back to the bed. Maybe later. Blake walked closer and sat next to me. How are you feeling? I grabbed my legs closer and hugged them. Better now that they're gone. Thanks for the save. Your mom seems lovely. He chuckled. She looks just like you. I stared at my feet. Pretty sure it's the other way around. His eye peeked out. Well, I met you first. He leaned backward on the bed, his head facing the ceiling. Why are you here? Shouldn't you be on campus? I thought you'd be glad that I happened to be nearby. I scoffed. Yes, you just happened to stop by. Tell that to someone else. Okay, Ryan did convince me to change my destination at the very last second, but I was out for my own reasons. I thought you were going to be a lot busier today. Blake scratched his head. I've got to meet with Alice today, continue my investigation, and look after the office for Clyde. He sighed. I also have those stupid sketches to make. Yeah, I'm aware. That's why I was taking a walk, just mentally preparing myself for tackling these chores. I could taste a faint smell of cigarette from his poncho. The sky isn't as beautiful during the day, but I don't mind. Chores, huh? Tending to our responsibilities does feel like that sometimes. The older I get, the worse it feels. He frowned. I feel trapped, completely drowned in duties I'm obligated to. Ryan and I would always discuss how easier things were when we were kids. Wolf took a deep breath. Not a single thought was ever needed for you to survive. He exhaled. True freedom. Is your family nice? I can't complain. They love me and that's all they have to do. But they don't understand you. They don't need to. And if you were to let them try, they're happily living their lives, so I don't want to ruin that for them. Because it's not fair. You didn't open the door. Tightened my grip. Yeah, I wanted to, I just couldn't. She needs to know I'm not okay so we can find a solution together. Instead, I avoid her because I'm sharing this pain with her. Because I'm afraid of sharing this pain with her. I see. Everything always finds its way when you speak up. Does it? I laughed. No, that sounds like bullshit to me. He did too. But it's important to hold on to something. His eyes shifted back to me. That is true. Because of that, I'm still here, waiting for time to do its thing. I don't know what will happen to us and... Fuck, I should have talked to her today when I had the chance. You'll tell her next time. I fidgeted with my leg. I hope you're right. Seems like you could use a +1 for your family meeting. My body stopped moving. It's not what you would want. He shrugged. Who knows, I might find the motivation to do it. Maybe. For now, it's better. I think it's best if I don't add any more work to your pile. I can handle it, don't worry. It's my job to get it all done. His soul slowly began leaking out of his body, and a bright blue light surrounded him. My heart ached as I stared at it. Does it hurt you? My paw reached forward and brushed his fur. No? Frail smile covered his features. I can feel your pain. Your soul is flailing around, kicking and screaming. Hearing my description shattered that fragile look he displayed before. It wants to be noticed. His soul only grew louder the more attention I called to it. What are you talking about? It's a medium thing. Quickly explained what he missed the day before. So you get to keep that power forever now? Yeah. He grimaced. That sucks. For me, I'd rather not have to deal with it. Blake sighed. Living is difficult enough as it is. Ow! Just... ow! As he finished speaking, his soul faded away. Then... he held his paw in front of my face. Yes, I believe your special vision works. It's just as you say. Keeping up appearances is tiring, so this helps a little. Now that his smile had left, the tiredness of his features felt more pronounced. Only that'd be enough to grant me some actual relief. Since when? It's always been like this. Time only teaches me how to hide it better. I get it. That's exactly what I do too. But this isn't the correct way for us to handle our problems. It isn't, but the world simply doesn't care enough to provide an alternative. We're not the larger group. That means our issues can be ignored. Hearing that only makes my blood boil. I don't have the energy to feel that way anymore. And you're okay with that? He frowned and shook his head. You don't get it. His tone changed. When you speak up and tell people the truth, they always react the same way. Blake, angered by his own words, increasingly raised his voice. This is just who I am, and this is what I have to live with. He showed his teeth. There's no solution. I accepted that a long time ago, but the ones I trusted didn't. He wasn't directing that anger at me specifically. I'm not an illness that needs to be cured. But the wolf was snarling, tapping into that dormant energy he couldn't quite grasp. His eyes shifted back to me, and as we traded a silent stare, he readjusted himself. I don't want to deal with any of this. It's exhausting. Is there something you can do that isn't tiring to you? Every action, even the smallest one, is painful. I don't think I can convey to you how hard it truly is. Damn. Damn. He took a deep, labored breath. Blake, I think you might have treatment-resistant depression. He took a deep, labored breath. Not having the strength to do the simplest tasks, the lack of real motivation to do anything. Nothing I do feels rewarding. Blake coughed ever so slightly. What do you do in a world where all you feel is emptiness? Scream. That helps me. Just scream. I stopped for a second to imagine it, but I couldn't quite understand the concept of nothingness. You look for something new? He chuckled. Yes. There is no way for me to describe how terrible it is to find nothing. It's all the same, there is no difference. Imagine going to work but your day never ends. Normally at some point you'll get to go home and relax. That doesn't happen to me. Something as simple as changing clothes, brushing my teeth, getting food, everything is work. But I do it because that's what I'm supposed to do, because doing otherwise means worrying the people who love you. There is always something to do. I don't get to stand still and exist. Too many thoughts, so many things to attend to. There is no freedom. Yeah, that's just depression. That is literally just depression. Yeah. Blake, baby, I'm going to need you to do something for me. I need you to scream at the top of your lungs. Screaming can help, like from personal experience. Screaming at the top of your lungs can help. Yeah, every action is tiring. However, just scream. This is coming from someone who, quite frankly, who is struggling with pretty bad depression. Doing nothing worsens it. But that's just my experience. Doing nothing worsens it. Doing something can help, but it's not a permanent solution. And doing nothing hurts. Doing something hurts. Doing nothing hurts. Everything hurts. And, quite frankly, it'll be hard to find anything that doesn't hurt. It'll be hard to find anything that doesn't hurt. Therapy and antidepressants. Oh shit, this is turning into a therapy session. Never mind. I'm not going to finish that thought. Yep, what about the sky? There's a fleeting spark I always fail to catch. Something about it moves me. It's so tiny I can barely feel it. Blake, I'm really sorry. Why are you apologizing? Because I'm realizing that that you telling me this is hurting you. His eyes widened for a few seconds. Maybe there is meaning somewhere in my words and I just can't find it yet. He yawned, stretched his tired limbs, and sunk deeper into my mattress. I shouldn't have suddenly dumped this on you. Let's say I pulled it out of you. It's not nice to discuss only the bad things. Can I show you what it means to stand still and exist? Yeah, of course you can. The world is way too fast, demanding us to run after it. I never like to catch up. Moving at my own pace allows me to process things a bit better. Blake tapped the mattress. Come, lay down with me. I smirked, seeing the ceiling obscuring our vision. Something's in the way. I have a tiny projector in my room that I like to use when I can't go outside. Your own starry sky, he chuckled. It helps a lot. I should come over then. Do you want to go through so much trouble just to lay in my bed? Gotta return the favor. I see. He raised his poncho and grabbed his phone. For now, we'll have to improvise a little. His paw tapped the screen a few times until it played a song. This music feels familiar. You recognize this? You've got good taste. Blake smiled, moved a pillow closer, and placed his phone next to it. Give me your best guess. I shook my head. Blake, I don't remember. You can ask for help. Fine, let me think. I could imagine myself floating, lost in a different world that wasn't my own. It's relaxing. Stay still and exist. Okay, why does every single character in this fucking game have something that is so biteable? Like, Blake's ears are so biteable. Like, I just want to bite his ears. I can't describe why. I just want to bite him. His antennae. He uses it to pick up different, like, frequencies in the world. Trying to figure out what's biteable about Joel. What is biteable about Joel? Joel doesn't seem very biteable. No, Joel's fingers are kind of biteable, but that's not the point. Joel frequency and Liam frequency, and he can't tell the two of them apart. Stay still and exist. The world keeps going, but we're not obligated to run after it. A longing look in his eyes. If only life would be just as simple. My eyes shifted back to him. It doesn't have to be complicated all the time, does it? We can conquer these small moments and make them ours. Close enough. His hint brought to light that old memory I was trying to unravel. Is this deep dive? Blake gave me a slight satisfied nod. The artist's name escapes me, though. His muzzle points at the screen, still displaying it. The song wishes to escape this world and venture into another, where life is happier. Do you want the same? Blake smiled. Space is just another dimension from ours, and sometimes I find myself longing for it, drifting away in a sea of stars. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Blessed by the sun, kissed by the moon. Blake slowly opened them again and tilted his head toward me. You asked if there was something I wanted. He raised his paw and extended it forward. Well, one thing comes to mind. Wolf gently spun it around as if he had caught something for us to display. I keep thinking about how it would feel to touch a star and hold its glow in the palm of my hand. I stared at it with curiosity. Your bar is so high it's impossible to see. I can at least imagine that experience when I drift away and lose myself for a while. That projector has its job cut out for it. Nobody treats that thing the same way I do. I'm sure it would thank me if it could. Of course. We silently listened to the song until the end. Blake. His ear flickered. Thank you for showing me this. Raised my paw and did the same thing he was doing. It feels nice to be a part of your life. My hand gently nudged his and he reciprocated the gesture. You're welcome. Then I slowly lowered my fatigued paw. It's a bit hard for me to hold that pose for long. Shame. It's a supportive gesture. And an affectionate act towards a friend. Don't give me that look. He immediately closed his eyes. What look? Hilarious. If that helps you sleep at night, I'm not against it. I'm opening the bag Mom gave you. Let's focus on that and not talk about this anymore. I reluctantly brought it back onto my bed and stared at it. Do you need encouragement? No, I do not. Spicy tennis balls. Spicy wet tennis balls. I hastily unzipped the bag and was immediately met with freshly ironed clothes. The clean smell of that detergent she always used slapped me with nostalgia. I believe this scent is coconut. He breathed it in. That's the shampoo you and Ryan like to use. I pushed him away from it. Yes, you're right. But stop that. I dug deeper and found clean socks and underwear. I would think you would have these in your room already. Well, you know how moms are. I returned them and continued searching. She prepared me a new set of clothes and... My paw touched a plastic bottle. Aw, this is my favorite fur wash. What a nice earthy fragrance. I haven't seen you use this at all. Because it's not sold here, unfortunately. There was a small envelope hiding at the bottom, and judging by its shape alone, we both recognized what it was. And that would be why she didn't want to leave this unattended. She was so fucking stupid. But I loved her nonetheless. There was a tiny message written on the back. Please take better care of yourself. Love you. How sweet. Yeah, now I feel incredibly guilty for letting her leave like that. Just stay true to your word and go see her for real. I will. Blake stood up and walked toward the door. We should go. Give me a second. Grab my shoes again. I should have done that too. I tapped the floor to adjust my feet and then walked out. I completely forgot they wore shoes. Like, I genuinely forgot that they wear shoes. Her phone's ringing. Yeah, I know. It's Liam. He grinned. People just can't get enough of you lately. I rolled my eyes and answered. Yes? What's wrong?
Why are you assuming there's a problem?
You never call me to ask how I'm doing.
You should appreciate that. I'm not wasting your time.
I pinched the bridge of my nose. I have a busy morning ahead of me. Get to the point.
We were waiting for you to show up at the saffron stash, remember?
No, we didn't organize anything, actually.
I mean, you were supposed to show up. You do that every day.
I shrugged. Ryan wasn't available today, so I skipped out. Can't you just tell me over the phone?
I can't give you any medium training that way.
My eyes widened. Oh, you want to do that now?
You're clearly unavailable now, so give me a time.
I stared at the clock, but I didn't know how long it would take. It's 10 a.m. I think 3 hours should be plenty to get it all done.
Then don't tell Clyde about it.
Blake's face twisted in dismay. I'll do it. He eyed me but stayed quiet. I got this.
Hurry up, I can't ruin my schedule to match yours.
See? Liam is a popular one here. The wolf shook his head. Stop that. I'm trying to stay nice as you're pulling the meaner side of me out.
Go look at that. Your face says it all.
My beautiful poker face is saying nothing. Look the other way as Liam laughed through the speakers.
That's really funny. Too bad you've got quite the bitchy resting face.
Blake reached toward my phone and closed the call for me. Sometimes I forget that true freedom also includes being away from Liam. I chuckled. You two love punching each other down for no reason. He needs a small token of appreciation now that we've renewed our friendship. Be nice. Alright, nothing crazy, you have my word. I raised a brown response. Okay. We made our way to campus and walked directly into Clyde's office. The dragon was facing the window, tightly holding his wrist with the other hand. His head snapped around when he heard the door opening. What were you doing? The dragon turned around, hiding both hands behind his back. Nothing important, just checking my pulse. That's not exactly something you'd randomly do out of curiosity. Blake walked forward and I closed the door. Are you feeling sick? He thought about it. No, I don't think so. You seem unsure. Wolf dragged a chair closer and sat down. True, something's troubling you. Yeah, I also randomly check my pulse. Like, that is actually the truth. I do actually randomly check my pulse. No, Amethyst, you're not just going to borrow spicy nuggets and then return the bag empty. You're going to borrow the spicy nuggets, and then when you can, you're going to make spicy nuggets and then give them to the person. You don't return the bag empty, you're borrowing them. You have to return the spicy nuggets eventually. So you take the spicy nuggets, you eat them, and then later you make spicy nuggets, and then you give them back. Is it really stealing in this economy? I mean, you're just borrowing. For legal reasons, I have to say that is stealing. I have to say that for legal reasons. But, like, is it really stealing? Again, to reiterate, I am joking for legal reasons. I hate that I even had to do that. For legal reasons, it's a joke. True, something's troubling you. It's related to yesterday's events. Blake closed his eyes. I know you omitted some details, but don't let that bother you. I walked closer and Blake gave me a tiny peek as I did so. He did? Clyde reluctantly nodded. Yes, I'm really sorry about that. His body shifted in place. I couldn't share any of it. I didn't feel comfortable enough. So you're waiting for Liam to do it? Clyde said nothing. We've been working together for a few years, I know you. I had planned to tell you eventually. The opportunity just didn't present itself yet. Blake lazily waved him off. I'm better off not knowing, honestly. Clyde chuckled. Even though it won't increase your workload? Wolf smiled and his body loosened up further as it sank deeper into the chair. You should have told me that sooner. The dragon tapped the other chair. Join me for a quick cup of tea. I pointed at myself. Oh, you want me to stay too? Of course, this also concerns you. Blake begrudgingly began to get up. Then I'll make 3 cups of tea. Clyde froze as he watched him move around. Oh, you want to make them yourself? I was about to. I wouldn't want you to get the process wrong again. That doesn't happen all the time. Besides, more practice means fewer mistakes. Oh yeah, my pulse is good. I held Blake's poncho and stopped him. I'll watch over Clyde and make sure he gets it right. The wolf blinked. You will? Even without me confirming that, his body had already softened up. Oh, that sounds lovely. He clapped his hands together. Blake, stay where you are while Joel and I brew some tea for you. Clyde excitedly extended his left hand toward me, and kneeling closer and whispered, I really get to do this for him. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, no problem at all. Lowering his voice again didn't matter with Blake around. So, yesterday, Liam and I visited the PMC headquarters. As I listened to Clyde, I grabbed a few teacups off the shelf. Mind solving that acronym for me? The dragon gently poured the water into the teapot. It's the Paranormal Management Center. He stopped midway to shoot me a look. Oh, you're aware of it already? A bit. I've been reading the handbook Liam gave us in my spare time. So it's basically the crazy institution Liam works at. Clyde squinted. Used to, I think. He resumed pouring into it until it filled to the brim. It wouldn't have been safe for him to stay for the time being. I kept an eye on the teapot as it began boiling. That sounds like he was never given permission to explore the castle. I shrugged. Breaking the rules is standard procedure for him. Anyway, we met the leader of the PMC. Clyde opened a nearby drawer and showed me different flavors for me to choose from. I picked one at random. And this is the part you're censoring. His grip tightened as he crushed the teabag I picked out. I only need you to not question me on my motivations. If you can do that, then it'll be much easier for me to share everything I've learned. I pointed his reflex out. He weirdly chuckled as he replaced the broken bag. You should know my MO by now. And I'm so thankful for it. The teapot was taken care of. I won't do that either. All I want is to solve the issue and get back to our lives. I helped Clyde pour the water into 3 cups and soak the tea bags in them. The castle is supposedly a restoration facility meant to rehabilitate people. I see, so this is what the change actually means. The PMC made it clear that only criminals were affected, but we now have grounds to believe otherwise. Obviously, none of us fits that criteria. I sighed and distributed the warm tea to them. Yes, people close to us have already disappeared, and they didn't fit this requirement either. Clyde gently raised the cup in appreciation. Blake gave us a sad look. That student Joel and I met wasn't a bad person. The dragon turned away as he searched for a spoon. It's heartbreaking. I'm sure his family is desperately waiting for any kind of news. I can always write an anonymous letter. Clyde's attention snapped back to him. Too risky. We can't afford to draw attention to ourselves right now. I carefully moved my cup closer as I checked its temperature. Anything else? My eyes raced to Clyde. He was the first to take a sip, then we followed suit. A nice warmth spread across my body like a gentle hug. Your father was also mentioned. My head slightly tilted in confusion. Mine? Are you sure about that? I've never met him. My lips reached the edge of my cup and sipped again. Joel's father left them when he was a kid, if I recall correctly. Clyde's eyes widened. If you just replace the words with left them with disappeared, nothing would change. He grimaced upon this realization. That only makes it easier to hide. Blake chuckled as he looked at me. Seems like you've got one more reason to meet your mother. I ignored him and kept drinking. Liam said the learning about your father's past is essential to dispelling this curse afflicting us. Of course he did. I lowered the empty cup onto his desk. Mom's not a medium. I don't expect her to know anything about this. I mean, if she did, things wouldn't have turned out the way they did. We waited for Clyde to finish his drink. Liam told me that a medium's blood is hereditary, so your dad might be the only candidate to fit that role. Alright, I get it. He wants my family history. Clyde bowed ever so slightly. I'm really sorry, Joe. I understand how difficult it is to share your personal affairs with everyone. Blake finished last as he reunited the last cup with the other 2. And how was this tied to you checking your wrist? Dragon stared at it again. I was encouraged to take a blood test now that I've come in contact with the castle. Did the exploration affect your health? He shook both hands in his head. No, I told you I feel fine. And you were the only one asked to do this, right? That's correct. I'd get it done too, just to be safe. You'll find out the answer when the results are in. Clyde took a deep breath as he uncomfortably shifted in place. I used to be really weak and sickly as a child, so I can't help but be anxious now. Blake waved him off. You'll be fine. Look at yourself now, so mighty and strong. Clyde awkwardly laughed in response. I still tire easily, but I appreciate your kind words. I'd better stop preparing. Can I leave the council to you for the time being? I'll be back after the meeting at the saffron stash. Clyde opened a drawer below his desk and rummaged through it. That means I won't be able to join you. He stopped for a second before resuming. Yes, I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. I have a suggestion for you, if that's okay. The dragon revealed a tiny coin purse. Of course, do tell. Record the whole thing for everyone. My eyes widened. I'll have to ask for permission first. Come up with an excuse. Say you're taking a picture or something. We don't have to see Liam. But if something important is being discussed, everyone should know about it. Whether they're a medium or not is irrelevant at this point. I understand where you're coming from since I'm taking this opportunity away from you. Sure, I'll do it. If that is all, then I shall take my leave. Good luck with your test. Clyde smiled as he walked towards the door. Silly, I'm not taking an actual test. He took a deep breath and crossed into the hallway. Nevertheless, I'll see you both later. I leaned against the door as I watched him leave. Take care. Thanks for the tea, by the way. I can't cook, but boiling water isn't too complicated. The initiative itself mattered to me more than the end result. I'm glad to hear it was helpful. Blake stood up and grabbed his keychain. Well, I guess it's time for us to get working. We're gonna leave off here tonight. I am tired. Oh, that is perfect. I also have an idea for an edit. So I might do that. I won't be in voice chat. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.